Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, yai da 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi.
To those online, wishing you a good Shabbat as well. Good Shabbos, Bunny, and Alan. So, I know some people are with us, right? Help us as we always do when we come together. This nice, intimate Shabbat service after Thanksgiving when most are still in their food comas. We wanted to make a little Shabbat time. So find somebody you're sitting near, you may or may not know. Introduce yourself to them. Wish them a good Shabbos. Get up and say good Shabbos.
שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. שבת האחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת האחים גם יחד, שבת האחים גם יחד.
Our intimate Shabbat service tonight is a chance for us just to relax, just to sing a few songs, to say our prayers, to have our time of Shabbat, to bring a little light into our world, to give ourselves pause as well. We kindle an extra candle each week these days for the hostages, reminding ourselves of those who don't have the privilege, the opportunity to light a Shabbat candle. And so we light that for them as well. As we light our own Shabbat candles, we gather and join with Cantor and with Rabbi and sing the blessing for the lighting of the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של
So as we begin our Shabbat, as we start our time together, remind ourselves of our breath, of our kindness, of what we bring to the world. So as we prepare for our prayers, maybe close your eyes if you're in the mood. If you're afraid you might fall asleep, that's okay. Take a deep breath, breathing in God's gift to each and every one of us. Breathing out our gift to this very world. Like I said, it's a chance for us to remind ourselves of the light we do bring into this world. Each one of us here, each one of us online, each one of us who can notice that. For the gratitude we feel in the midst of a dark world gives us the opportunity to bring that light out, to share that, knowing those who have been good to us, those who have shown kindness to us, reminding us that we can do the same. And we do. And despite the challenges, despite the darkness, despite even the sadness we might feel, to help inspire ourselves with that kindness and that love and that goodness that is a part of who we are.
Olam chesed yibaneh, tadadai yaidai, yaidadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yaidai, yaidadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, tadadai, yaidai, yaidadadai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, yadai,
We can't allow ourselves to forget what we do, what we bring. It's the blessing we have in Shabbat. It's one day in the midst of the busyness of our lives, our week, to pause and refresh that reality in our minds, that blessing in our minds, God's presence in our minds, knowing that we all come on some level for different reasons, yet at the same time for the same reason. We hold on to that as what can help us, can lift us up, and carry us to the next week, so that we know we will be okay somehow, some way, and know that we're going about this not alone as individuals, but with a community, a much greater community, well beyond these walls, beyond this city, this state, connecting us with our people, all who mark this day as a day of rest, a day of peace, our Sabbath, our day of wholeness for ourselves.
I will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai, and you must build this world from love. Yadadai, yadai, and if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed yibaneh, yaidai, yaidai, yaidai.
And so with that intention, with that ability we have, if we can, we rise together right now for our call to worship as we come together for our prayers on Shabbat.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
When we open the Torah this week, we open to a Torah portion known as Vayetze, which means, and he left. And it's referring to our forefather Jacob when he left Beersheba and went on a journey to the city of Haran. But on his way, Jacob lays down to go to sleep one night, puts a rock underneath his head to use as a pillow, and falls asleep. And in his dream, he pictures a ladder reaching up from the earth to the heavens with angels descending and ascending. When he wakes up that next morning, he says, God was in this place, and I didn't realize it. Our next prayer that we read together, that we sing together, are the words of the Hashkivenu that asks that when we go to sleep tonight, that God watch over us, God protect us. And in a way that we ask that we can be like Jacob, that tomorrow morning that we wake up to life renewed, refreshed, but that we too can wake up refreshed enough to realize our individual missions, our responsibilities, to realize that God is in this place, even though sometimes we don't realize it. And so we join together in the words of the Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, ve'amidenu malkeinu.
As we prepare for the words of the Amidah, our next set of prayers, the essential prayers of our worship, our sages a long time ago realized that first we need to take a moment for our own silent prayer, our own private meditations, because they realized sometimes the fixed words weren't enough. And sometimes we had other things that were in our minds and our hearts that we needed to share with God, that we needed to express, that we needed to have a moment to be able to reflect upon. And so they opened this prayer with the words, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up our lips, our hearts may declare your glory. Realizing that sometimes takes a moment for us to open up our hearts, our lips, for them to be in the same place. That our minds wander and we're not ready to express certain things. And so this moment of silent prayer is our opportunity to try to help put our hearts, our minds, and our lips in the same place. Please rise together now for a moment of silent prayer.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, my God, my rock and my redeemer. You, Leratzo. תפתחו פי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Koneh HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
As we've been doing in our prayers since October 7th, so we add to those prayers, those for the state of Israel, for the soldiers of Israel, for those held captive, linking ourselves with our brothers, our sisters, our families, our friends in the land of Israel. Avinu shebashamayim tzor Yisrael v'go'olo barech et medinat Yisrael. Rock of Israel and our salvation, bless the state of Israel. First fruit of the flourishing of our redemption, guard her in the abundance of your love. Spread over her the shelter of your peace. Send forth your light and truth to those who lead and judge her, that they may walk in the way of justice, freedom, and integrity. Strengthen the hands of those who guard our holy land. Let them inherit salvation and life. Give peace to the land, continuous joy to her inhabitants, and soon fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. Let them learn no longer the ways of war. And let us say,
Amen. The prayers for the soldiers of the state of Israel. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel. Hu yivarech et chayalei tzava v'hagana liYisrael ha'omdim al mishmar etzenu b'yevasha ba'avir u'vayam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu yishmor v'yatzilenu chayalenu mikol tzarad u'tzaka u'mikol nega u'mechala v'yishlach bracha v'atzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yadehem. Yitein Adonai v'chayalenu chochma bina v'da'at v'aterem b'keter Yeshua v'aterem nitzachon v'nomar Amen. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, send your blessings to our soldiers, to the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces, who stand guard over our homeland Israel, on land, in the air, and on the sea. May the source of strength preserve and rescue our soldiers from every trouble and distress and from every plague and illness. And may God send blessing and success in their every endeavor. May God bless our soldiers with wisdom, understanding, and insight. May God grant them salvation and crown them with victory. And let us say, Amen. Amen.
In the prayer for redeeming of the captives, as we give thanks for the 13 Israelis who returned to their families this day, so we know there's a lot more work to be done. Many more of our family who are still held hostage in Gaza. Achenu kol beit Yisrael, may God be merciful to our fellow Jews who wander over sea or land, who suffer captivity, persecution, and imprisonment. May God soon bring them relief from distress, deliver them from darkness into light, from subjugation to redemption. And let us say, Amen. We link these prayers with those in our own community, for those in need of healing and strength. We think of our family and friends who we link ourselves with at a time, bringing Torah out into our midst, walking around with the Torah, reaching out and touching it, thinking of those in our minds and our hearts we connect with, as reminding ourselves as Torah has been a source not just of learning and of strength, but also of hope. Shiberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka v'Rachel Hu yivarech et holy, merciful God, who's blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel. Send your blessings to our loved ones stricken with illness, anxiety, friends, and family we think of. Elisa Ioto, Amy Drysdale Atler, Suzanne Becker, Michael Brody, Chris Burke, Karen Hasman, Patty Seresny, Audrey Chase, Pastor Kent Clark, Michael Eisen, Ann Gotro, Richard Gotro, Batia Batesha Panina, Ava Haber Cornholm, Ty Hall, Donna Marie Hawk, Leon Klein, Scott Klein, Chaya Aviva Batfegla, Karen Coltono, Marta Lazar, Alan Lieberman, Gertrude Levin, Zoe Marcus, Leonard Miji, Baruch Drew ben Avram Bebella Shira, Gail Mintz, Lev Herschel ben Ba'ami, Marla Moston, Razel Batlea Miriam, Carolyn Peterson, Eileen Porcelli, Rachel Beit Chaim Vachava, Ray Reef, Marcy Fisher Reiners, Leslie Riggs, Laura Rosso, the St. Amman family, Stephen Siegel, Simcha ben Mina Bar Menachem, Guy Stern, Susanna Stern, Len Turman, Karen Thompson, Ed Wade, Barbara Weinstein. Especially we think of the 7,770 and more Israelis physically injured from October 7th terrorist attack, and all those in Israel, throughout the world, among our people, emotionally hurting and in need, and all the names in our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai v'acholim. Plus, you got to give strength to those in need.
The source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say
The mystics teach us that the Kaddish has different meanings every time it is recited. In their minds, it is a prayer that links earth to heaven and bridges the chasm between the living and the dead. The Kaddish is the assurance that the soul's enduring and the human spirit is indestructible. It is a prayer that permits a child to remember a parent and a parent to remember a child. It is an opportunity to bind wounds and bring generation closer to generation. In light and in darkness, it is all of these and more, for it is our people's memory of the best that life has to offer. And so on this Shabbos, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, whose Shiva and Shloshim Shana we mark. Consuelo, Connie Abrams, Samuel Blumenstein, Arthur Greenblatt, Douglas Greenbaum, Ethel Rosenblatt, Marvin Rott, Lori Faber, Leonard Romanek, Itai Cohen, Rabbi Daniel Schwartz, the 70 IDF soldiers killed defending Israel and working to bring home the Israeli hostages, and the over 1,200 Israeli family and friends whose lives were lost in the terrorist attack in Israel on October 7th. And to their names we add those whose yard sites we mark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Brad Beck, Julius Berkowitz, Robert Hillel Bernstein, Leonard Brahms, Philip Bresner, Barry Chernak, June Colton, Rhoda Feinberg, Hyman Harry Frank, Sylvia Golds, Irving A. Grand, Berta Haberkorn, Manny Hoffman, Martin Hollander, Golden Estrin Jacobson, June Heller Cole, Lillian Kunzman, Nathan Lieberman, Bernard Myers, Roy Nathan, Mary Virginia Paterni, Alfred Peck, Diane Roche, Eli Roth, Gail Rothenberg, Ethel Schoenfeld, Frank Singer, Eleanor Smith, Arlene Starr, Sheva Stolovich, Rebecca Warren, Thelma Wright, as well as all the names in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Do we join together on page 46 of our prayer books in the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish, praising God for the gift of life. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'almad Divrach Irte, V'yamlich Malchute, B'chayachon, Uvyomechon, Uvchaye, Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mivarach, Le'olam, Omei Almaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitalev, V'yitalal, Shmei D'Kudusha, B'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbachata v'nechamata, Damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, huya say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. Comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere, as together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, huya say shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, huya say shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos. Moment for a quick tish. Questions you have about Jewish law, Jewish tradition, something you saw tonight, anything that's on your minds. And we'll take a moment to answer some of those questions. Arthur. I could always talk about Israel. Arthur asked, do you want to talk about Israel? He gives me the broad opportunity And what I'll share, I'll give a little plug here, because on December 14th, I am going to be talking about Israel at our Temple's Brotherhood meeting. There's an evening dinner and a little discussion as well. I believe dinner's at 6:30, and then followed by a nice discussion. And that's open to anybody from Temple that would like to be a part of that as well. But something more specific you had in mind? Sure, I'll repeat it first. So Arthur was curious. One of the things one of the news channels that he was watching was saying that the hostages were going to be released from Gaza somewhere around noon today. And he was going to wake up early knowing that there's a 7-hour difference, that he'd be the first to be able to see the news and what was going on and who was being released and the challenges of some of that information that was coming out. Not sure which source, the sources that I was reading, and everything's constantly changing, and that's one of the games that's played as well around this, unfortunately. I saw something about 4 o'clock p.m. the last time I'd seen something yesterday about when they would be releasing some of the hostages. And they, Israel does it in a strategic way. Hamas does it in a strategic way as well, as they're figuring out. So they have a responsibility, from what I understand from the terms of the agreement, is that they'll release the names of those individuals that are going to be released the day prior. So Israel yesterday was notifying the 13 families of those who were on the list to be released. They say that, and they're very hesitant. They say that there's always an asterisk next to it because this is what Hamas has given us, but we're not really sure if this is going to be an accurate list as we're looking at things. That's their concern, or that there's some sort of mental games that they're playing as well. So, for example, Hamas released somebody today who was on a list of people who had been announced dead. That she had on October 7th. They said that she had been killed on that day, but she was released today, alive. So there's all sorts of different things that go on. From the release at 4 o'clock, they went through Egypt. Those who were released by Hamas went through Egypt, and then with the Red Cross. And then made their way into Israel. And so they do checks and everything else to make sure that what their status is physically, if they need medical attention, whatever it might be. And the same is true for the prisoners that have been released from Israel. There were 39 of them today. Israel went and did interviews with them before they were released. Somebody else took photographs and everything else to make sure that when they returned, nobody could say that there was anything that was done to them that was done in Israel, as they made their way back to the Gaza Strip. And then they were released one at a time so that there wouldn't be large celebrations, was their concern. And so they did that one at a time as they were releasing back some of the prisoners from Israel as well. So my understanding is that hopefully for the next few days we'll continue around 4 o'clock p.m. for the hostages coming from the Gaza Strip to be released as well. But that can all change as they do things too.
Yes. What the ratio? Why that ratio? Look, why 3-to-1 Palestinian prisoners who have all either have attempted to kill Israelis to one Israeli hostage who's innocent and being held there. How do I feel about it? I don't think they should give any prisoners up, but I also believe in the sanctity of life. So I trust Israel to do whatever they need to do to get Israelis home to their families. It's not what Gilad Shalit, when there's 1,070-something Palestinian prisoners who are terrorists who were released. One of whom was the mastermind of October 7th, by the way, who was found to be, who was released then in 2014, I think it was, or 16. Anyway, so it was Sky News interviewing Elon, one of the Israeli, press commentators who represents the government. Is it that Israelis, they don't respect Palestinian life as much as Israeli life, and that's why it's 3-1. And his eyes bugged out, and he said, what an atrocious, despicable comment to make. Like, do you really think that? Like, we're just doing whatever we can to get our people home to us who are innocent. And his eyes have become a meme now throughout Israel because, and he actually made it himself with blanket, said, you add in whatever you want because this is ridiculous. But that's what at the end of the day, that's what the world's going to always think about Israel. And so I don't have to justify it. But what's your rationale of 3-1? Yeah.
It is whatever it takes to get them home, and that's the idea. But that's also the challenge in doing things, and it makes it an incentive for Hamas or other terrorist organizations to kidnap Israelis, to realize that it's not a one-for-one, life-for-life trade as Israel is trying to get back some of those who have been taken hostage, but it's not a proportional number.
Yeah.
And there's an incentive for them.
Right, which is a concern. Well, how about we celebrate something that's sweet, like the Kiddush over the Shabbat wine? And I would like to invite up Jenna Schwartz to help us with the Kiddush today, if she'd like to come up here and lead us as we rise together, and we can sing with Cantor the blessing for the sweetness of this day.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Borei
Bari hagafen. Amen.
Oh, what? That's okay, yeah. Right, great. May God bless you. May God protect you.
May God shine upon you. May God shine through you.
May God always be a part of who we are. Individuals, as a community, give us all of our blessings, and most of all, the blessing of shalom, of peace.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos.